I mean, it's a turf field over there, and they got like a couple ACL injuries in that game. I think it was Raheem Mostert went down was the first one, and then I know Nick Bosa went down early in the season. It might have been in that game, but they're saying like, yeah, going their first NFL action on a turf field like that caused a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it's not
It's a
good.
turf field over there, and
And I mean, we'll see what the NFL has to say with the turf fields in the future. But yeah, I really got to think maybe teams are really screwing themselves with how they treated the preseason this year.
I mean, as a fan of a team that got 4 games in because of the Hall of Fame game, I kind of watched them kind of take it like normal. Their first game, they didn't play a whole lot, and they ramped it up. The third game, they were playing a bunch of starters. But again, some of the teams we played, they didn't play any starters because they're on a different kind of, I guess, timeline than we were. So I guess we had the luxury to kind of ramp into it, but other teams were trying to figure out how to make it work with only 3 games.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays in the future. And I know, like Kamara was a big. He was very against the short preseason just because of these injuries. So
For
it's
sure.
kind of funny to see then the Saints just absolutely spank the Packers, even though they kind of had their big star against that kind of new wave of how they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of injuries, I was kind of going through Twitter today, kind of going through the injury report from yesterday. A couple big names went down. Jason Verrett for the 49ers, ACL after the season. Jerry Jeudy had an ankle injury. He's out for a while. Ryan Fitzpatrick's a big one. He had kind of somewhat about a hip dislocation that could keep him out for a while. So, I mean, we're already, 1 game in, and we're already seeing some big teams get with some big injuries.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely detrimental. And another interesting thing I want to point out is it looked like it's kind of 50-50 on those new coaches and how they looked like the new coaches that just started this year or first year
Mm-hmm.
coaches. It's pretty split. I mean, you had like Urban Meyer, you had Arthur Smith, and kind of I guess Rob Sala. Like those teams all they didn't look great. But then you had like Sirianni, Dan Campbell. I was really impressed with how the Lions were able to make that
Yeah.
a competitive game. And then you got the guy down in Houston, David Culley. Is that how you pronounce
Coley,
it?
yeah. David Coley, big one. And then Brandon Staley for the Chargers. They went into Washington and got a win as well. So, yeah, real split performance. I mean, even though I didn't win, I think I was the most impressed with Dan Campbell's Lions. I mean, that's a team probably in terms of talent near the bottom of the NFL. And they were, down 38-10 late in that game, left for dead. And they really just gave them yeah, came just short. But I mean,
The guy down in Houston, David Culley. Is that how you pronounce
Coley, yeah, David Coley, big one. And then Brandon Staley for the Chargers. They went into Washington and got a win as well. So, yeah, real. Watching this game right now, and the Ravens got the ball. They're engineering a lot. I mean, a lot of passes early. They're not going to their ground game like normal, trying to get Lamar into a bit of a rhythm here, considering he's down so much rushing talent in that backfield.
But I got to feel like also the Raiders got to bait him into it. Like, you think they're really scared of Tyson Williams?
Nope.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like they got to make it more one dimensional. But, yeah, Lamar's throwing some dots too. And not to mention their wide receiver core was pretty banged up.
Yeah, first
The,
round, first
first
round
round.
rookie, Rashad
Yeah.
Bateman. Yeah, he's on short-term IR. Be back in minimum
And,
3 weeks.
and Marquise was beat up earlier too, I remember in the season, but
Mm-hmm.
look at now.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's
we'll see how this game goes. I honestly think I think it'll be a better game than people give credit for. But who knows? Maybe Lamar is looking like another MVP season this year. I know last year wasn't his best, but it
yeah,
wouldn't. It wouldn't.
some tough circumstances last year. I mean, the O line, you lose the veteran Marshall Yanda, and then a couple injuries piled up, and kind of teams attacked them with a different game plan. I mean, they kind of sat in the middle where he would normally attack the tight end and force them to throw outside. And he didn't find as much success, but now you got a kind of a year to adjust. You got to watch film and kind of figure out how to work around that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. How much of the Lions game were you able to see yesterday?
I got to catch the end because that game kind of I was watching the Steelers game during the 1 o'clock window, and that game ended before, so I caught the end of the Lions game on Red Zone. And yeah, I kind of saw their last few touchdowns. It's pretty furious effort by them.
Yeah, not bad at all. And that Browns Chiefs game, that might have been one of the best games of the day, honestly. I personally I was really hoping that the Browns would pull it out. Just I wanted to see Mahomes kind of be humbled with his whole second season this year.
Yeah, as a Steelers fan, I can't say I was with you there. I was all about the Chiefs in that one. See the Browns take as many losses as possible.
With that stacked Mahomes Tyreek Hill combo, that probably won me the week this week in my one league.
Yeah, I'm in a battle in my one league. I'm down by 12, but I have Josh Jacobs going, so hopefully he could get just enough, pull out a win for me.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But I mean, I don't know that second half, it's a totally different game with the Browns and the Chiefs. I couldn't believe it.
It was unreal. I mean, a lot of hype going into that game. I mean, the Chiefs are made to the Super Bowl last year, favorites to get back this year, and the Browns are a young up and coming team, and they really lived up to the hype. The Browns got off to a fast start, but when push comes to shove, the Chiefs have Mahomes and the Browns didn't, and you saw that happen.
Yeah, I mean that first half though. I mean, I feel like you could have said that the Browns have to look like early, like a legit team to like do well and go far this season. I mean, we'll still have to see if that's the case. But
yeah, they looked impressive.
Who knows?
I mean, really got the run game going. I mean, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt doesn't get much better than that, and they were really showing it early. Got out to a big lead, mostly off the rushing attack.
Yeah, it's really. I also find it interesting how their game plan totally can change depending with those two. Just you got Nick Chubb if you want to ground and pound the ball, and then you also got. I mean, if you need to start like passing it and getting a little more third down passing plays, they're obvious passing situations. Hunt's maybe one of the best in the league at that. Like him, Kamara, and some of these McCaffrey, he's right up there. But we'll have to see. It's still early. Obviously, maybe the Browns and Baker kind of figures it out more. I don't know if you got to see that Baker hype video before the game, but I don't know. I was pretty fired up about that one.
Nah, I didn't get to see it.
Baker, for those of you that didn't get to see it, Baker just kind of taking the bad press, all the doubters, and just kind of sticking it to him, making a motivational video.
I mean, he played well. I mean, a tough end of the game with the pick, but
it was unfortunate. If he didn't get his foot
is an indication. I think he's in for a pretty big season.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd love to see him. He because rookie year he came out real hot, and then he kind of the next year it wasn't as great.
Yeah, real tough season his second year, but third season got off to a bit of a slow start, but by the end of the year they were real firing on all cylinders. So year 4, payday on the horizon. That's when the teams need to start making their decision on when they want to give this big bucks to their young quarterback. So we got to see if he could convince the Browns to give him the big payday.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see too, just because they got some big names over there. They'll have Denzel Award soon.
Mm-hmm. Just paid Myles Garrett
recently. Got fat check.
Mm-hmm.
That defense
Nick Chubb just got paid.
Intimidating in the league for sure. Are they able to like contain Patrick Mahomes at least that first half? They kept them pretty in check. It's basically the best offense in the league.
What I'm most interested in is, I mean, you have a really great O-line right now, but a couple of them are coming up on needing new contracts. So if you extend Baker, how well are you going to be able to retain all that O-line talent, you know? So.
Yeah, you got to pick different, you got to pick your poison there.
I mean, you got to stick with the QB. I mean, what?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it'll be some tough decisions in the offseason for sure. But yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you pick him number 1 overall, and I think he's kind of brought a swag back to the Cleveland Browns football, which I don't think you can really say they had much in the recent times.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep him around. And I mean, we'll see. It's a long season. Maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll end up looking like an MVP or look like a bust. It all depends.
And it's only week 1, and you're probably the toughest opponent you're going to play. I'd say he passed, even though they didn't win, I'd say he passed the test to start. Next week, you got the Texans, who might be 1-0, much to a lot of people's surprise, but that's still a game where I think you should be able to rebound and really kind of get the season off to a real good start with a win there.
God, how are you feeling as a Texans fan though? Like, I mean, you look at that roster, or is that just speaking volumes to what we should be expecting of Urban Meyer as a coach? I mean, I wouldn't say the Jaguars are a great roster by any means, but I feel like they got more talents and more studs over there. I mean, they got pretty good receiving core over there and offensive threats, and what Chark, Jones, Chenault. You got James Robinson.
James Robinson, yep.
Yard back last year, and then you get debatably maybe the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck, or even before that, like Peyton Manning or someone.
Mm-hmm.
But then you end up getting smacked. Oh, not to mention that by the Texans. And you look at their defense, they even got some studs. You got Miles Jack over there. You got Josh Allen. And then you drafted the previous few years some studs on the defense, also in the first round, like C.J. Henderson.
C.J. Henderson, yep.
Who's the guy out of LSU?
Caleb Von Chason.
Caleb Von Chason, but they're just playing out. And I'm hearing rumors that they might be getting rid of C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, they're saying, I don't know, under Urban Meyer, maybe not as great of a scheme fit there. And you just drafted another corner in the second round of last year, Tyson Campbell. So maybe see if you could trade Henderson while the value's still high.
You didn't just see that, it looks like Derek Carr just threw a pick, an absolute garbage throw. And taking over on their side of the field.
That's going to be close. And might have been trapped off the turf, but still, I think that was third down, so it might be a punt situation.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the refs call it. Is the new rule that every turnover is reviewed, or is it the coach has to challenge?
I believe every turnover rule is automatically reviewed.
Definitely Graham.
Coaches' challenges are usually for like yardage situations, like first downs and stuff like that.
I don't know if you were able to see this, but I found it kind of interesting. I was watching the Eagles-Falcons game at 1:00, and Zach Ertz totally just missed the ball, and the Eagles were able to get up in time, hike it, and the Falcons totally lost lost that chance to keep the Eagles from driving. And I honestly think that was a big momentum swing in the game. I'm watching it early on. The Falcons twice in a row drove down to the red zone. And both times they ended up just kicking a field goal, and that was basically
field goal
the whole day. Those first two.
That was all they're scoring. Yeah, after that they got nothing going. I mean, I got to see a bit of the Falcons-Eagles game on red zone, and I was kind of disappointed. I mean, new head coach Arthur Smith. I mean, his Tennessee offense last year was pretty special. I mean, they had a good thing going there, but in Atlanta, you don't have the luxury of having Derrick Henry in your backfield, and that really makes a big difference. I mean, they couldn't really get their run game going. They couldn't really get their pass game going because the Eagles had couldn't force them to just sit in the box and stack it to stop their run. So they kind of looked really disjointed. And Kyle Pitts especially, I was looking for a big debut, but they really couldn't get a whole lot going to him. Only like 4 catches for 30 yards. So credit to the Eagles defense. They really showed up that day.
But like I was saying before, Mike Davis was looking really hot at first. They had over 100 rushing yards in the first half, but then I think kind of the point I was talking about earlier with the shortened preseason, Jalen Mayfield just absolutely was getting exposed, and that whole offensive line for the Falcons was really the big difference in the game.
For sure.
The Eagles pass rush, I don't think they blitzed once, and it seemed like they got pressure every player.
It's funny. Speaking of Jalen Mayfield, I saw a tweet earlier today. It was kind of an old tweet of his right before the draft. He said, if you want to keep your quarterback upright, draft me. And if week 1 was any indication, I think he was selling himself a bit too highly there.
Yeah, I mean, not great. I mean, but
no.
I mean, you got to feel bad for the kid. Hopefully he figures it out. And I mean, it can't be worse than his first week. So I'm sure he'll be doing all right afterwards.
Yeah, week 1 in the rookie season. It's a tough ask to go in and start there as a kind of a rookie starter on the offensive line, but live and learn.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of it's. I think it was also just you don't get that chemistry, which is really needed on the offensive line, and that's affecting the rookies. But then,
Hmm.
if you turn over, I wasn't able to watch this game sadly, but debatably, probably one of the games people thought would be the best going in yesterday was the Titans and Arizona Cardinals, and Chandler Jones is absolutely exposing Taylor Lewan.
5 sacks. I mean, it's like sometimes you see those big sack games where it's like 5, 6 sacks and it's against some crappy backup, but he took Taylor Lewan, an established starter. He took him to the woodshed.
Yeah,
Lewan couldn't do anything to stop him.
Chandler Jones is no spring chicken anymore, and he was getting
No,
after it. Something in that Arizona defense. They seem to like to get someone that's able to do that. Hassan Reddick last year was able to have
yeah,
that.
last popped off against the Giants. I remember that.
So I don't know who knows what they're doing down there, but
Whatever they're
that's
doing, it's
pretty
working.
impressive. And they're absolutely crushed Derrick Henry. I mean, I guess maybe J.J. Watt, that new signing, made a big difference, but
Yep.
I
I
mean
mean,
that Isaiah Simmons in another year, Buda Baker's
Isaiah Simmons, yeah,
like,
he looked really impressive. I mean, he was talk about players making the second year jump. If week one was any indication, he looked like a star out there. And real impressive showing from him in the Cardinals defense.
yeah, I mean, we'll have to obviously see more, but and even Julio Jones. I mean, I think some of you saw that clip of Julio Jones just absolutely getting chewed out about that penalty towards the end of the game. But what did he do? He did nothing. And it's
Not
not
30 yards.
like,
Yep.
I would say the Cardinals have a very impressive like cornerback group by any means.
No, I mean, what's Malcolm Butler retired like 5 days before the season started. So they were starting some young players in that cornerback room. But I mean, AJ Brown got his, but other than that, Titans passing attack was not finding any success.
And even Brown, he only had 4 for 50 pretty much. I mean, you
Yeah,
got
he had an
like
impressive touchdown. Yeah, but I mean, that offense, I mean, Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator last year, he's gone, and it didn't look like they replaced him very well. They struggled. Wasn't pretty. And I mean, only so much you could do with Chandler Jones living in the backfield all day. But you would have thought they could have got at least something going, especially just give the ball to Henry a few times, get him advantagegeous positions. But they couldn't even do that to much success.
yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that I think a lot of people worried about drafting Derrick Henry. I know you drafted Derrick Henry right before me.
Yeah, took him 3 overall.
Yeah, we'll have to
I
see.
mean, I
Well,
didn't think he'd get 2,000 yards again, but I figured he'd at least get me some stuff. But I was pretty disappointed in the week one showing, at least.
who knows? It's a long season ahead for sure. And so I mean we'll have to see what goes on, but it gotta gotta think it's gotta improve a little bit. I mean, I think most people would argue Mike Vrabel's a hell of a coach, but he's more of a defensive side of the ball guy. So
Yep.
they gotta figure it out. I mean, they got talent. It shouldn't be an excuse.
Talent, no shortage of talent there. I mean, you trade for Julio Jones on top of what you already have. And people thought that would take the offense to the next level, but instead they looked like they were going backwards. So you got to get back on track.
All right, maybe Corey Davis is a lot better than people thought.
He looked good against Carolina with the Jets. Him and Zach Wilson had some early chemistry. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, not bad. I gotta admit though, I really thought the Panthers were going to come out and stomp on them. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean they built up a bit of a lead, but the Jets hung in there. I mean, Zach Wilson, he took his lumps in the early going. He had a bad interception, but they rallied. I mean, they made some plays later in the game. They hung around. I mean, made it up. I think it was a 4-point game at the end. Uh, uh, for a team that got decimated with injuries and a team that didn't really have a whole lot of great talent to begin with, the Jets didn't look all that bad. I'm interested to see how they kind of play going forward now that Zach Wilson has his first game under his belt.
Hey, and for those of you that are watching the game live, that Tyson Williams, I think I gotta take back what I was saying. There's not much of a rushing attack.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean,
rapid.
35 yards right at the gut right there.
That
Impressive play.
yeah, I mean, he looked like. I mean, I can't say he looked like Tyreek speed, but I mean, he looks quick.
He hit that hole hard and
He was
fast for
fast.
sure.
He just outran everyone there.
Justin Tucker doesn't miss. I mean, Al, if he can run like that for the rest of the year, who cares what you lost in that backfield? Damn, I mean, that was an impressive play right there.
CoverGirl, clean,
Yeah, that
fresh
was
skin look, a vegan
dang.
foundation.
But they did get Le'Veon and Freeman, I saw.
Neither of them active
But
tonight. I mean, they just signed with their
Le'Veon,
practice squad, but
that run, wow. Going back to the Panthers Jets games, I mean, Zach Wilson, I mean, he put up pretty good stats for his career game, but got sacked 6 times and absolutely no support. I'm pulling up the stats now. They had Tevin Coleman on 9 carries, averaged 2.7 yards. Ty Johnson on 4 carries had 3.8. But then their highly hyped up rookie, Michael Carter, he averaged 1.5 on 4 carries.
not great. Not great.
Yeah,
I mean,
not say so at all.
That Jets O-line is a work in progress. I mean, they drafted Elijah Vera Tucker. They signed Morgan Moses, but Mekhi Becton went down in that game and moved George Fant over to left tackle. That didn't work out very well. So, I mean, you have a young O-line trying to get established, losing maybe one of its best players, and makes it a challenge to find their footing. They didn't do a great job in week 1.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but I think also, for what it's worth, I do think that Panthers D-line's pretty tough they got Hassan Reddick, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, all those guys in that game.
No, they're a
Davion
talented
Nixon
young team.
might end up being a steal in the draft. And they can throw in Gross Match to that mix also. So they got some depth on that O-line or D-line.
Yeah, they got some big boys up front. I mean, the past few drafts, they've been really investing hard in their defense. Got some good linebackers there too. Shaq Thompson, talented player. They drafted that safety convert. His name's kind of escaping me at the moment. Jeremy Chin. Yeah, he had a good rookie season, and he plays in the box a lot. So, I mean, it was a tough first test for the Jets. The Panthers defense is no slouch, but they took their lumps. But
Wilson did throw for 250 with I don't know, maybe just a little above 50% passing, but they do have some weapons there too, which I think will be interesting as the season carries on. I mean, Corey Davis, big signing. Crowder doesn't look like he played. They Denzel Mims, second round pick last year, and then I think the most enticing is the guy they got from down in Ole Miss, Hotty Toddy.
Elijah Moore. Yeah.
I mean, he had 1 catch for negative yards, but they do have a lot of talent there. So hopefully Mekhi Becton can get back and protect his blind side and can all get a little better.
Yeah, I was looking. I think they're saying somewhat of like a meniscus pull or whatever for Becton. So they're saying 6 or so weeks out at minimum. So hopefully that timetable is on the shorter side rather than the longer side for Zach Wilson's sake.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but who knows? You never know, right? Could be better, could be worse. Happens all the time.
Yep.
But I think we kind of touched on it briefly, and I don't know how much you were able to see it, but the Eagles, I mean, Jalen Hurts, man, he came out there and he showed the world that he deserves to be that starting quarterback. I know there's a lot of noise this offseason, like, is he really legit? See the talent? But if he can keep up that level of play, which I'm not saying he will, I think the Atlanta defense is not the greatest in the league. But I mean, next week they're going to have a big test against the San Fran, and I guess we also got the golf out against them, so maybe they're not as good as we thought. But I think there's credit due there to Dan Campbell and drafting heavily on the O line and D line. I think that made a big change. And quarterback, he wants to knock you down. If you knock them down, chew your legs, be gritty, be tough. I think he's brought a new energy to that building. And I mean, Jared Goff looks like a stud quarterback. But getting back to the Eagles game, I mean, Jalen Hurts is absolutely balling out. And the cool thing down there for the Eagles, you got to be happy about too, is they got 3 first-round picks next year. Jalen Hurts is a real deal, and his biggest flock against him was his percentage or his average. of completions.
We did it again.
And he absolutely just torched it. I mean, he was a little bit under, I think, 70%.
Yeah, Jalen. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll admit I wasn't much of a believer headed into the season, but week one he looked good. The offense was moving, and I will say he wasn't asked to do a whole lot. I mean, the offense was built on a lot of short game, a lot of quick stuff, get the ball out, get it to your playmakers in space. But I mean, you see stuff like the touchdown pass to rookie Devonta Smith. I mean, that's a perfect ball in the corner of the end zone, hit him in stride. Great first touchdown for the rookie. I mean,
great. I mean, and you see that as an Eagles fan, first touchdown of the game, and you just see that.
That's exciting.
Oh, yeah, huge. And he had a great game. He did exactly what they drafted him for. Yep. And I think that ended up opening up the offense more. I mean, Jalen Reagor, actually, he looked half decent too. He had 6 receptions as well, and he had a 20-yard, I think, touchdown in the
catching around the score. Yeah,
and
I mean,
the ball. It was great. Quez Watkins early on. I don't know what happened to him in the second half, but he absolutely looked. He looked real good at first.
Yeah, I handed it them. I mean, that was in terms of shocking performances. That was one. I did not think they'd go and play Atlanta and just dismantle them like they did. As you were saying, big test next week, the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, all along their D-line, they got talent. I mean, you have Nick Bosa back from injury. You have Arik Armstead. You have Dee Ford. I mean, at linebacker, you have Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. I mean, that's a much scarier front than what Atlanta can throw at you. But
oh yeah, very formidable to say the least. But I mean, I want to the Philly O-line. I mean, look, you lost some guys last year because of injury, and Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, but those guys basically are like top players at the position respectively in the league. And then you got Kelsey, who was basically the only healthy person last year. But I mean, the whole line was banged up. So I mean, they stay healthy. I think Hurts only got sacked once. I mean, who knows? They might do hold up pretty well against the 49ers. And we kind of talked about earlier a little bit how that was a lot closer of a game, high scoring game than any of us thought, really.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, speaking of the Eagles O-line, Jordan Mailata, I believe this is his third year playing football. I mean, drafted out of New Zealand where he was a rugby player, and he just signed a big fat contract to walk down that left side of the Eagles line. I mean,
I saw that. I think it was 4 year for $64 million.
Yeah, that's 16 a year. Impressive. Imagine stumbling into a career opportunity like that. But no, I mean, yeah.
We need to start eating a little more steak and protein shakes.
Maybe. And also grow 7 inches if possible. But, oh, well, doesn't work out for all of us. But no, yeah, as you were saying, the O-line's back healthy. They're good against Atlanta. It's going to be a good matchup in the trenches next week against 49ers.
Oh, for sure. And I think kind of going off of that trenches kind of theme, I was able to watch a bunch of the Redskins football team versus the Chargers, and the Chargers O-line shut down the Washington D-line, which most people probably thought that would be the best in the league, pretty damn well. I mean, Herbert only got sacked twice.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like Montez Sweat and Chase Young couldn't do a whole lot. I mean, it did look like the interior D-line was playing pretty well, but
and let me tell you, Rashawn Slater
more and more, but I mean, they were getting stopped in the red zone, I must say.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Washington's defense is one of probably the more impressive units in the league. I mean, you have so much talent up front, but the Chargers O-line, which has been a problem for them in the past. I mean, you invest heavily. You bring in Corey Linsley from the Packers. You bring in Matt Fowler from the Steelers, and you send your first-round pick on Rashawn Slater, who was unbelievable. I mean, his first NFL game, he's going against Chase Young, and he almost made him invisible. I mean, if you're getting performances like that out of your rookie, I mean, Jesus, Justin Herbert must be on cloud 9 right now if that's who he has protecting his blind side.
Yeah, not to mention Bulaga is there too. I mean,
yep,
flipped it around. It's nice playing around with the quarterback's rookie contract.
Oh yeah, when you don't have to spend $30-40 million a year on your quarterback, you could really spend that money well elsewhere. Bring in reinforcements.
But then kind of flipping it around to the football team, I think their offense is not what people were expecting. Last year, obviously, it was more of the weakness versus the defense, but I mean, and obviously Fitzpatrick went down pretty early, but they couldn't do anything. Not to mention, I mean, Antonio Gibson when he was getting the ball and making runs, he looked good, but he also fumbled the ball twice.
Yep. Tough start. I mean, I had high hopes for the Washington football team. I thought they were in for good things, but now they didn't look great offensively. Now you lose your quarterback for what looks like half the season. Yeah, they're in bad shape. I mean, the defense can only do so much when the offense can't move the ball very successfully. So hopefully Taylor Heineke, I mean, he played the game of his life in the playoff last year, and now the chance is his to be the starting quarterback for a while. So
He didn't
maybe
look too bad, to be honest.
No, I mean, I've been impressed with him every time I've seen him. I mean, he's not the most toolsy or most talented quarterback in the world, but he goes out there and he slings the ball around. I think
Sure scrappy.
if you can kind of dial up a good game plan, really get your receivers in open space, and he can get them the ball. I mean, I think you can make something with that. I think as long as they're able to stay afloat for a bit with Fitzpatrick down, they might not be dead in the water yet.
Oh, no, definitely not. And I mean, you got to think about their quarterback play last year, and they're still able to make the playoffs. I think Heineke's better than the options they're throwing around last year. And I mean, Heineke put up 119 rating. Not to mention, he also got a few yards scramble on the ground, some key situations. I mean, as long as the defense keep them alive and offense can be a little more efficient, it was like Terry McLaurin was not in that game at all. That first half,
Nope.
to be seen. And I'm bottom line, they only threw the ball 21 times, which I think also hurt them. They just weren't on the field all that, or they couldn't sustain a drive and give themselves a chance. So I mean, we'll have to see it. I mean, they're still figuring out their offense there, but hey, who knows? Maybe a little Cam Newton, Ron Rivera reunion.
Reunion, yeah.
Heineke's not looking as good as they thought.
That'd be exciting. I know Rivera said today that they're not looking to bring in any outside help, but how quickly things can change if things start going south. So,
for sure. I mean, they want to win that conference. But I mean, Eagles in first in that conference now. Everyone else lost. I mean, Dallas obviously. I think they looked phenomenal for what it's worth.
Dallas looked good. Yeah, they hung around with the Super Bowl champs. I think they're definitely the favorite, even though they took a loss in week one. But I mean, that kind of brings us to the last NFC East team. We didn't talk about the Giants, who played Denver and did not have a very good showing. I mean, 27-13, they got off to a bit of an early lead, but then everything kind of fell apart. The Broncos got rolling, they took a lead. The Giants couldn't do anything to respond, and garbage time touchdown saved it from looking uglier than it, a bit less ugly than it was, but not a good showing for the boys in blue with pretty high expectations, I'd say, this year.
Yeah, and their front seven was supposed to be one that was supposed to be very impressive. I mean, they did a pretty decent job shutting down Javonte Williams. He's only averaging like 3 yards a carry, but Melvin Gordon, 11 carries for 101 yards.
Jeez.
I mean, if that's not efficiency, I don't know what is. But I think that's also kind of interesting to look at, that they did give the rookie more touches, but maybe that's because they were winning.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants' defense last year played. I mean, that's what kept them in games. I mean, they got off to a bad start. The team got off to a bad start, but the defense really kind of came together, and the Giants were picking up some big wins late in the season, but not off to as well of a start this year. Defense has a lot to work on. If you're getting kind of torched by Teddy Bridgewater, that's not what you want to say from your the unit you'll be relying on all year long.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a long season. But I mean, Teddy did look good. It looks like they made the right call down there in Denver.
Yeah, I was critical. I mean, I thought you'd give Drew Lock the reins. I mean, even if he hasn't been great thus far in his career, I mean, he's still a third-year player, and maybe you can get something out of that. But Vic Fangio decided to go with the veteran, went with Teddy Bridgewater, and he looked good. He looked sharp. Didn't make many mistakes, and once they took a lead, they kind of never let go of it, and they were able to kind of close up the game and win 27-13.
Bridgewater.
Yeah, kind of
just
crazy.
gets
All right, and it looks like we might have another guest joining us in a second.
Oh, guest speaker.
What's going on, Mike?
Oh, he's connecting.
Hey, what's going on there, Mike?
Mike, what's going on, bud?
You're a little sideways there, but
He's figuring it out.
What is this?
we're breaking down the NFL week.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have any comments on the Jets game?
Zach Wilson is gay.
Yeah, not too happy.
Not thrilled.
No, he's a dick. I fucking hate that guy.
I didn't think the Jets looked that bad. I mean,
Quinn,
Yeah.
don't be a flatterer.
I'm not being a flatterer. I'm calling it like I see it. I thought they hung around in that game. They weren't great, but they weren't awful.
Yeah, and you probably thought the Hindenburg was a pretty successful launch too.
Got off the ground. Give them that much.
I've seen abortions that were more interesting than the Jets game.
I mean,
Yeah.
what did you really expect though when you had they're the second worst team in the league last year.
I mean, they were the worst team last year. I don't know how the Jags didn't win more than 2 games. They just have the balls to stick to a fucking tank. We don't.
If you love that chicken from Popeyes,
That's
Yeah.
true.
The
Couple
Jets
late
really
game
had it in
wins.
his hands.
Wait,
Late season
guys-
wins did nothing for you.
what are you guys live streaming this to? What is this?
On YouTube.
Live on YouTube right now.
YouTube, yeah.
Oh, who's
We're
watching?
trying to live stream football stuff.
Yeah, what's going on, bud?
What's up, Quinn?
How we doing?
I'll get on in I'll get on in a second. I'm walking back from work. I just want to let you guys know. I like it though. I was listening.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
I want to hear Mike Lynch rant about the Jets.
I mean, there's
Mike,
nothing
what-
to say about. It's like we got our coach. We have a fucking idiot at quarterback. How PC do you think I have to be in this? It is on the
money, so do whatever you want.
and the internet's forever. So I probably shouldn't have said that A word joke.
Tough. Happens to the best of us. But we were talking earlier. What was the deal with Elijah Moore? I mean, 1 catch for negative yardage. What happened there?
I mean, I think that's the weird thing, dude, is like everybody's ranting and raving about him in preseason. And he was like doing great in preseason. And then he just comes out and I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't a part of the game plan. Maybe he just couldn't get open. I don't know.
I mean, rookie receiver. Panthers have some talent in their secondary, so maybe just the opportunities weren't there for him. But we'll see. Tough first game, but maybe he'll bounce back.
I'm already calling it this season.
Week 1 and you're already in. Oh, that's tough.
You want the big boy down in Oregon?
Big boy down.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau.
I don't know.
That's hurt though. We'll have to see. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but have you heard about this Presbyterian college team?
Oh, the
What?
team that doesn't punt, right?
Yeah, so that a guy that used to coach high school that was known who went on it every time on 4th down, only kicked onside kicks, and never punted the ball. He just coached his first game at Presbyterian College, and they won like 84-13.
Holy shit.
So I mean, brings
Yeah,
manager
what's up?
like that's kind of cool, but we'll have to see what'll happen in the future. Maybe, who knows? Kind of interesting. I unfortunately didn't get to see the game, but I just heard about it, and they put up these crazy numbers. I think the quarterback
Wow.
they scored their first 7 drives. They start off the game getting a touchdown, recovering an onside kick, scoring.
Oh, I'm reading the stat right now. Their quarterback, Ryan Heffley, he was 38 of 50 for 538 yards and 10 touchdowns.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, this is a college team?
This
Yeah.
is like a
Presbyterian College.
Is this D3, D1 AA? What are they?
Looks like FCS is what I'm reading here. So I guess one double A, yeah.
Who do they play?
They played some crappy schools, but they play like Dayton, Davidson, Morehead State, San Diego. Looks like a bunch of just kind of some other FCF schools just scattered around the country.
I won't be able to stay on for too long because I gotta finish up some studying before I leave.
Yeah, what are you studying for?
CFA.
Really?
Yeah, I'm taking the November one.
Gotcha.
You thinking of doing it?
We'll see. All right. So, I just started work this last week before this, so I'm still like onboarding and stuff, and I'm not thinking about that at all.
What are you doing right now? Are you or where are you working right now?
Oh, I'm working for Deloitte, and I'm living down in Arlington, Virginia right now.
Consulting or actual like accounting stuff?
So my title's risk and financial advisory, and my first project I'm gonna be hopefully working for the Air Force, pending my security clearance. But yeah, then I'll get more details on what exactly I'm doing once that is all settled. So hopefully next week I'll know more.
Thank you for your service in advance.
Thank you for your service.
This is not stolen valor.
Salute the troops.
Yeah, I can't I could only give a yeah, I can only get a Brett Favre clap from that.
Mike, have you started work yet?
Yeah, I've been working since like middle of June.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you started yet. That's cool. How's that treating you? Any good?
Pretty nice. I like it so far. It's definitely like a big learning curve. And then doing this on top of it, kind of burning the candle at both ends. I literally like I work 8:30 to 4:30, then go for a run, then I do CFA stuff.
Busy schedule.
Yeah.
Man's got to eat. A man's got to eat.
Yep. Get that career off the ground.
The more double cheeseburgers, the better. You know what I'm saying?
Some Big Macs. Good though.
Yeah.
Either of you happen to watch the Sunday night game yesterday? Rams Bears.
I went to bed at halftime.
Yeah, that's about what I did as well. I mean, Stafford, that first play game, that's pretty ridiculous. Van Jefferson.
Yeah. Lucky to get a touchdown out of that. I mean, got two defenders down there, and neither of them decided to touch him, so he got up and scored. But impressive play. Way to start Stafford's career in Los Angeles.
Oh, you know what though? The first play of the game was Montgomery just absolutely running down the field, and then Dalton getting picked off in the red zone.
Montgomery looked like a monster. I mean, the O-line wasn't doing him any favors, but he was finding running lanes out of nowhere and just hitting the hole hard. Might have been the best player on the field. Too bad he was on the losing side.
Yeah, I mean, even their backup there, Damian Williams, he had a game too.
It was a better game than I thought. I mean, the scoreline wasn't flattering for the Bears, but I thought it was a pretty reasonable game throughout before the Rams kind of closed it out. I mean, the Rams were heavy favorites going into that game. I mean, you could see why with some of the big plays their offense had. But the Bears looked good. I mean, Andy Dalton wasn't amazing, but he hung in there. And I mean, Justin Fields snuck in there, got a rushing touchdown. I mean, how soon is he going to get in the starting lineup? But there was stuff I liked from the Bears yesterday.
Not too bad. I mean, but I feel like, did you hear the fans chanting for Justin Fields immediately?
Oh, they want him bad.
Yeah, I give it maybe a week more or something.
Week 4 is my guess. I think they'll turn over the reins sooner rather than later.
I mean, I also think Trey Lance will be in soon.
Yeah, he got some reps. He threw a touchdown pass. I mean, it was a short little dump off on a third and second goal, but both of them had a little bit of action. I mean, all 5 first-round quarterbacks played this weekend. 3 started. Those 2 didn't. But I'm sure we'll see all 5 in the starting lineup sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got 3 of them definitely locks for probably the whole season, and then we'll have to see
Mhm.
once Fields and Lance hop in what happens.
I guess that brings to the one we didn't talk about, Mac Jones and the Patriots. Kind of a tight one with the Dolphins. Dolphins won 17-16, but by all reports, Mac Jones looked pretty good. Didn't make any mistakes. Got the ball, accurate thrower, got the ball to his playmakers. Unfortunately, they just came up short a few too many times. It was a real ball control, ball possession type game, and the Dolphins kind of closed it out late in the end in a low scoring affair. But if you're a Patriots fan, there's some positive takeaways I see there.
Yeah, I mean, some things I didn't really like were, I mean, they just can't score in the red zone. It's embarrassing. They're looking like a team that just they couldn't just pound it in. They had to settle for too many field goals, and that's why they lost the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, on the other side, you have Tua, who's second year as an NFL pro. I mean, he's been kind of, bit of a tough first season, a lot of scrutiny going his way, but he looked all right. I mean, I won't say anything too crazy, but I mean, he didn't have to get the job done. But I mean, honestly, I thought Mac Jones looked a tad better. Just kind of pound for pound, I thought Mac Jones was a bit more accurate, avoiding mistakes. I mean, Tua had the one interception, but it was a close game. I think the scoreline was fair.
I think the Patriots definitely have the better O-line, and I mean, they came back. I was hoping their defense. I mean, the defense did do pretty well. They only gave up 17 points, but they did have a few key guys return from COVID and stuff. And I mean, another year of like Uche looking better. I mean, we'll figure out what's going on with Stephon Gilmore a little more, hopefully. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think they also might have a better defense. So I mean, I will give the Dolphins or Tua a break there. But who knows? I mean, if you're a Dolphins fan, you think you're happy with Tua, or you think you're wishing you traded him for Deshaun Watson right about now?
I don't know about trading for Deshaun Watson right now. He has some stuff to kind of figure out before he gets back on the field. But I think
brothers are banned in Miami, so I think they're good.
I think we need to see a bit more out of Tua than what he showed so far. I mean, it's only week 1. The Patriots have a tough defense, and he still has a full season ahead of him to improve and show a bit more. But I mean, the Dolphins have built a talented roster, so if they feel like Tua isn't the guy, I wouldn't be surprised if they get aggressive, trying to make a move and bring in a Watson type talent to really get the best out of their team.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Know what I was thinking also watching that Falcons game? Is Matt Ryan going to be the next is he going to have to pull Stafford?
Oh, I mean, that's going to be tough. I mean, he's getting up there in age. He's like 36, 37 now, and has a big contract. I'm sure a team like Denver or like a Washington could maybe use his services, but yeah, he's in a tough situation, I'd say. He probably only has a small chance to make a big move like that, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, though. I kind of find it interesting because it looks like Atlanta's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
They look bad.
Yeah, like garbage over there. But, I mean, he can still sling the ball. The poor guy, I mean, he was getting absolutely murdered, and they were literally only 7-4 every time.
Mm-hmm. Not a good showing.
Every play. I mean, they did look good the first 2 drives of the game, and then they literally didn't put up a single point the rest of the game. But,
yeah, I mean, how quick do you think the Falcons are going to be looking to move on from him? I mean, do you think if they have a bad season, they go for a rookie quarterback this year, or do you think they kind of hold on to him for a bit longer, given his contract?
I mean, I think they got to try to just dump that contract. If they can get whatever worth they can out of them. I mean, what did the Rams gave up? What, 2 first-round picks?
2 first rounds for Stafford, yeah. I don't think you're getting 2 first-rounders for Matt Ryan, but I'm sure there's some team out there that might want him. Get more of like a veteran presence they have talent on their team already.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be in play. I mean, we'll see how Justin Fields' career goes or Mac Jones, but Falcons fans might be retracting this draft with Kyle Pitts, and they had the chance to get Fields or Mac Jones right there, sitting there at 4 for them.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts felt like a win now move for a team that really wasn't in a position to win now. So I don't think they'll regret it because I think he's a great talent. But you got to wonder, should they have gone quarterback, addressed it earlier rather than later? I mean, again, you're sitting at 4 there. You had players like Mac Jones and Justin Fields sitting right there for you, and you decided to go elsewhere. So time will tell if they'll come to regret that decision.
Yeah, they're just getting – Eagles were their puppet master yesterday. It was bad. And, I mean, Ridley had that one there's one big drop in the second half of the game where he ran like a post route, and he just looked nervous out there. I don't know.
Sorry, fellas, I got to go.
Appreciate you dropping in, Mike. Good seeing you.
See you, Mike.
Later, boys.
Have a good night.
I'm sure everyone got to hear my little Buttercup pop in for a little bit.
Yeah, good little song choice.
But give me your what are your key takeaways of this first week?
I'd say again the biggest one for me was the Saints might have something brewing there. I can't say I saw anything like that coming. Who knows? Jameis hasn't really shown he's been reliable enough to kind of repeat that level of success. But if he does, I mean, they looked good. I'd say my other takeaway is the Steelers' defense is probably good enough to get them back to the playoffs on its own. I mean, a lot of talk this offseason that the Steelers are washed up. I mean, most people, myself included, were expecting a loss against a team as talented as Buffalo, and they kind of came in and handled business. We kind of shut them down defensively. So if you could at least get something out of your offense, you can rely on that. And then my last takeaway is the NFC West is unbelievable. You had all 4 teams win, and all of them in pretty much dominant fashion, aside from the 49ers, who kind of fell apart a bit late. But again, all 4 teams won, and that's going to be a dogfight. All 4 teams look real good.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough division because, I mean, at least one of those teams, if not 2, probably aren't making the playoffs this year. And that's a lot of talent there that's going to miss out. But one game we didn't even touch on is big, Joe Burrow coming in there, end of the game, calling an audible and winning it for the Bengals.
Impressive. I mean, I was looking forward to seeing him again. I mean, bad injury last year. All off season, it was good. All the talk in the off season was how good he's going to look coming off injury, especially because the O line in front of him wasn't all that great. But he showed up. I was impressed. And hell, Jamar Chase, who's been catching all sorts of flack in the offseason for his drops, he looked like a monster. What, five catches, 100 yards and a touchdown? He burned Patrick Peterson on that deep route. They looked good. I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean, when you're making when you're telling people that the ball is bigger and it doesn't have any stripes on it, I don't think many people are expecting to have that great of a game. But
no, he fooled everybody.
I mean, he really, and I think he had a show because I think just Cincinnati in general, and for his own sake, I think people were going to destroy them if he is not what he was. I mean, you had Joe Burrow get absolutely rocked or injured last year and getting demolished every game because that O-line was terrible. And then they decide not to pass on someone like Penei Sewell, who a lot of people thought were like the team that the Giants or another team like wanted to get like at number 2, even possibly overall. This draft. And then they decided to go for a guy that hadn't played football in a year, and Jamar Chase, when they already, I think you could argue Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins were very, very good last year. It seems like an odd pick, but we'll have to see.
Early returns were great. I mean, and the reason they did it was that connection in college. I mean, Burrow and Chase lit it up on that national championship run over at LSU. So trying to recreate the magic, and it looked good in the week 1. We'll see how it continues, and we'll see if Burrow can stay upright. Because he's a talented player. I don't want to see him go down again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the poor Vikings couldn't catch a break. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he was doing his thing, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Dalvin Cook was getting shut down. I mean, the Bengals D line, I guess, doing the trick.
Yeah, they've invested in their D-liners. So they brought in Trey Hendrickson from the Saints, DJ Reader from the Texans in recent years. Yeah, Mike Daniels from the Packers. I mean, they just extended Sam Hubbard. I mean, they've bulked up on the front on the D line, and it showed. They were able to really kind of control the line of scrimmage and didn't let Dalvin Cook get off and running.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, once again, I mean, that offense, I think that was one that people were excited to watch. Explosive, big play guys with Dalvin Cook, Thielen, Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, kudos to the Bengals. Good for them.
Yeah, it was an impressive win in a game I believe they were underdogs in. So good start to their season. I don't know if you got the chance to look at the upcoming schedule, but week 2, I'm going to pull it up right now, kind of search for some big games.
Do we want to do a rapid, we'll say the game and we'll each say who we think is going to win?
Sure thing. Let me pull up the schedule real fast.
Yeah, I got it right here if you want me to start.
Perfect. All right, go for it.
All right, so we got Giants at Washington.
Until I see what Taylor Heineke looks like, I think we got the Giants there.
Really? All right, I would definitely hammer the Washington. I think Heineke, I mean, he did his thing, I think, when he played.
I don't think it'll be close. I mean, both teams need a win. So,
I mean, also, Denver defense is also, I think they're pretty good, and they shut down the Giants. But we'll have to see. Maybe Saquon gets a bigger role then.
Yeah, he only had a few carries in week 1. I guess they're trying to ease him back in.
Next, I guess we got the Steelers and the Raiders. I think we'll both probably get Steelers here.
Got to take my Steelers in this one. I mean, first home game.
Choice you had there, but
yeah, I got to rep my team. But no, I mean, I think their defense, if they played like they did against Buffalo, I'd say the Raiders' offense is a lot worse. So as long as they don't make crippling mistakes on offense, I don't see why I can't win that one.
Next up, we got the Eagles and the 49ers.
This one's going to be – I'm going to go – I'll play it safe and take the 49ers here just because their defense. But I think the Eagles are going to show a lot more in that game than I guess I would have thought before the season started. I think it'll be closer than what I would have initially expected.
Yeah, I don't know. I really want to look at that line to see what's going on because, I mean, you look at the Eagles rosters, the Lions roster, I feel like you got to think the Eagles roster is stronger overall.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were talking about earlier, Jason Verrett went down.
Big opportunity for Devonta Smith.
I got some bias here, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Eagles win. And then the next game is probably an easy one: Texans versus Browns.
I take Cleveland there. Yeah, I was not going to think too hard there.
Plus Tyrod Taylor and his plethora of running backs, old show up again.
The whole stable: Johnson, Ingram, Lindsey, Burkhead. Crazy.
Yeah,
imagine that.
I mean, they balled out this week.
They did. Imagine that running back like room 4 years ago. All 4 of them kind of closer to their primes.
Oh, would have been
a lot of talent. Yeah, that's kind of stupid to think about.
And then next up, we got Broncos at Jacksonville. I think I got to go Broncos there.
Same here. Jacksonville did not look very good. 2 teams going in different directions.
Even Trevor, I mean, 3 interceptions. That's as good as he was at Clemson.
He was up and he had some really impressive throws. I mean, the second touchdown pass, the deep bomb to, I believe, Marvin Jones, it was a great bullet down the sideline. But, yeah, 3 interceptions. He took his lumps. So we'll see how he rebounds in week 2. I mean, the talent's there, but he definitely has to rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, I will have to see. But next we got the Saints at the Panthers. I think definitely got to go Saints after this pass.
After what I saw, yeah, I got to stick with New Orleans on that one.
We'll have to see, though. I mean, the Panthers, obviously, they have experience playing against Jameis, so maybe that changes it up a little bit, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he also has experience against them, I guess. That goes 2 ways. And then next up, I got the Rams at the Colts. I think this will be a good game. I think Wentz, actually, we didn't really touch on them, but I think Wentz, for what it's worth, I think he seemed all right. I mean, the Seahawks just seemed better.
Yeah, the Seahawks got off to a flying start in that game, and the Colts, Wentz did all right, but definitely nothing too crazy. I mean, I think the Rams are still the favorites out of that one. I'm going to lean on them there. I think they just have too much star talent.
Yeah, it'll be tough, but hey, who knows? Colts give them a fight. Yeah, but that Indianapolis passing attack right now, they don't have weapons.
They need a game. They really need a game. A lot of people were talking
Maybe not to
Michael
this-
Pittman breakout year, but he didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, they really need a game changer.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe they need to call up the Jets, get one of their receivers.
Elijah Moore. Like the Jets know how to use them apparently.
Next up, we got a AFC East battle of the Bills versus the Dolphins, and
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
I don't know. I mean, I think the Steelers' defense is way better than the Dolphins. I think the Bills come out and win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bills. They didn't expect to lose that one to Pittsburgh. Now they did. I think they need to kind of dial it back in and come out of this upcoming game with a win. I think they're still a very talented team. Just kind of got hit by inspired defense. So I think they'll kind of look more like the Bills of last year and pull out the win in that one.
All right, next up, we got Battle of the Rookies.
Ooh,
We got Money Mac Jones and we got Zach.
wow. Oh man, that'll be exciting. Got to go with the Patriots there. More talented team. I thought, even though I liked what Zach Wilson did, I thought Mac Jones was a little bit better. When it comes down to talent, I think the Patriots take that one. They'll get the big plays when they need them.
Money Mac, man, aren't the Patriots looking smart sitting there at 15 and letting him just fall in their laps and everyone mad about that happening?
I know everyone was like, oh, the 49ers, the rumor was the 49ers traded all the way up to 3 for Mac Jones. They went Trey Lance instead. And people were saying, oh, maybe the Patriots could make a move. But yeah, they sat tight and they got their guy. Fell right to him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But man, I'm excited. That should be hopefully a fun game to watch. I'm hoping as a Patriots fans, I'm hoping they just beat up on the Jets, but we'll have to see what happens there.
For sure.
And I think I don't know. I think the Jets didn't have to play. I mean, they didn't have to play that great. The Panthers, I think, got an all right defense, but I think the Patriots have a better defense, and the Jets really didn't do much against that Panthers defense. I mean, they got 2 touchdowns. That was it. So we'll have to see. Next up, I think an interesting game: the Bengals at the Bears.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna roll with the Bengals on that one. I thought the Bears played well, but Andy Dalton against his former team. I think I liked what I saw from Burrow. I think he's gonna keep rolling. I think they'll kind of take him out in a tight one there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be a closer game than definitely. I mean, I feel like the Bears didn't look too bad, especially that first half. I mean, Dalton unfortunately had that interception the first drive in that red zone. But you take that away, what was that? I think the game was 14. It would have been 14 all at half, I think.
Yeah. They were playing up tight for a
I
while.
can't really say much about the second, but
I could definitely see the Bears win that one, but I'll lean on the Bengals for now. What I'm more curious to see is if how many reps Justin Fields gets in that one.
yeah, I'm sure he's. I mean, depending on what the score is, that might be a difference. If it looks like it's their goners or if it's a blowout or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see. Ooh, Lamar with a risky pass. So on side note, and then next up we got Falcons at Buccaneers. All right, I don't think anything needs to be said.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure
the Bucs there.
I'm sure Brady's going to have his way with that defense.
I don't think that one's going to be pretty.
And now,
Give me the Bucs.
Not another pretty game. Also, we got the Vikings at Arizona.
I mean, we'll the Cardinals looked amazing. I mean, we'll see if they're legit, if they can follow that performance up. But I think they will. I liked what I saw. I didn't really like what I saw with the Vikings. They rallied to send that game to overtime, but they fell behind early against the Bengals. And I think the the Cardinals offense is a lot more explosive than the Bengals. So I'll take the Cardinals in that one.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, hopefully it'll be a better game than this this first team threw out last week. But we got the Titans at the Seahawks.
Ooh, that's a close. I mean, the Seahawks look damn good. Russell Wilson was really just thrown to the wayside. He was hitting everything deep. Tyler Lockett had 2 deep touchdowns. It'll be hard to pick against them.
Secondary is weak.
Yeah, I mean the Titans
The
need to
Seahawks
get.
defense also isn't very good, though. To be honest, on paper, I'm not too impressed with the Seahawks defense.
They've definitely lost talent in recent years, and they're still kind of working to build it back up. I mean, I'd say it's
Jamal Adams, but
it's only week 2, but I think it's an important game for the Titans to get if they want to get back on track. I just think the Seahawks are. I think Russell Wilson just playing at too high of a level to start this year.
yeah, here I'm gonna read out the Seahawks starting defensive lineup, and it's not I wouldn't be too impressed looking at it on paper. So at the edge rushers, we got Rasheem Green, Carlos Dunlap. In the middle, we got Una Ford and Al Woods. Linebackers, we got Jordan Brooks, Cody Barton, of course, OG Bobby Wagner.
OG Bobby Wagner.
And then the secondary, we got Cody Barton, DJ Reed, Trey Flowers, and the safeties are Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. So I mean, we'll see. Hopefully the
talent there.
Titans offense looks a lot better this week at a minimum. But that'd be pretty interesting if they start the season 0-2. I mean, that is definitely a tough first 2 weeks, Arizona and Seattle. But
Seattle, yeah, again the NFC West.
They need to really scrape one of those out.
It's a big game. I think.
At home.
I think the Titans will play better than they did, but I think the Seahawks offense looked a bit too explosive. I mean, if the Cardinals are able to generate big plays, I don't see why the Seahawks can't either. So I'll go Seahawks there.
Seahawks definitely. Next up, I think this could be this will be actually a very fun game to watch. At 4:25, we got the Cowboys at the Chargers.
Oh, wow. I mean, the Cowboys played well enough to beat the Bucs. They didn't quite win, but again, they played great. Chargers did get a win to beat Washington. I mean, those 2 teams I think are similarly talented. A lot of offensive talent. I mean, Dak looked amazing. Herbert looked good. I think that'll be a real back and forth affair. I think I'm gonna take the Cowboys there. I think.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but
they're receiving. I mean, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper look outstanding against the Buccaneers. I mean, that whole passing attack looked crazy, and I think that's the situation where it comes down to which team has the ball last. And my gut tells me that'll be the Cowboys, and they'll get a kind of a late score to put that one away.
yeah, and I don't know if you just saw this, but the Ravens just sustained another injury.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who went down? I didn't see it.
Phillips on the O-line, and they just got stopped on 4th and short at the 35.
Ooh, I did just see the stop, but an offensive line injury is probably not what you want. I mean, they had a few injuries last year and they felt it. Mm-hmm. You don't want to see a repeat of that.
Or trade them away. But then we got all right, and then Sunday night game. I'm probably guessing the most exciting game of the week and the one everyone wants to watch is you got the Chiefs at the Ravens.
That's week 2. Wow, I didn't realize I was that early in the season. That is one hell of a game right there. Give me the Chiefs. Lamar, Lamar's I think 0-3 against the Chiefs in his career. Hasn't been able to beat them yet, and I mean the Chiefs look damn good against the Browns. Even if it doesn't take a late comeback to win, I can't bet against them. I just think Mahomes in that situation, I think I just can't bet against them.
Sorry, Darren Waller with just a big drop. Oof.
Yeah, ball was a bit behind them, but yeah, it would have been a big play over the top.
Yeah, I mean, all right, we'll see if that bites them later on. But I mean, this matchup, I always kind of like the Ravens matchup against the Chiefs just because they got all those very talented cornerbacks there, but they're all beat up now.
I mean, I'm watching this game, and I mean, the Ravens look like the better team, but they don't look like the explosive talent they were the past few seasons. So if they're gonna beat Kansas City, I'm gonna need to see a lot more in the second half, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully, man, I'm looking at the depth chart, and all I see is O's and IRs next to everyone's name. in red.
Not what you want to see. That's bad.
Yeah, not great. But
All right, last game, the Monday night. What do we got?
all right. Do you have any ideas who we haven't said yet?
The Lions. I know we haven't mentioned them. I can't remember what the other team is.
Yeah, Lions vs Packers. There's no way I would have been able to guess that.
Ooh, okay. I mean, the Packers stunk, but I still think they're better than the Lions. I think they'll get.
Lions looked impressive, but I mean, could you imagine Aaron Rodgers gets embarrassed by the Lions?
Oh, that would not be good. That would be
your worst start ever. I know it was his worst loss ever in history.
That wouldn't be great, but I think they'll get back on track. I think they're a way better team than the Lions, even if the week one results don't really look that to be the case. But I'll take the Packers in that one. Not going to overthink it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the same way. And all right, we're going to be ending the show soon at halftime. But you got any early or bold Super Bowl predictions?
I mean,
a week of the regular season.
I'll tell you this much: before the season started, my Super Bowl prediction was Packers over Chiefs. Nothing too crazy, but week one, I'm feeling the heat on that one. The Packers did not look good. What I will say is, one team I think could really make noise in the playoffs is the Chargers. I don't know if they'll win the AFC, but I think that's a team that, as the season goes on, I think they're going to keep getting hotter and hotter. And once the playoffs are around, I think they're going to be a team that no one wants to face. I think they can go to the AFC Championship game. Maybe. Well, I'll see how. I mean, they play the Chiefs twice this year, being divisional opponent. So we'll see how they stack up in those two games. But that's kind of the team on my radar, I think. But for now, I'm not going to give up hope yet. I'm still going to stick with my Packers Chiefs Super Bowl prediction, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump ship yet.
Packers take out the Buccaneers.
It was a tight game last year. In the NFC Championship game. I mean, they're going to have to figure things out quickly, considering how they started. But I think they had the talent. I mean, you look up and down that roster, and they have playmakers up basically at every unit. So I don't see why they can't win. They just need to, I guess, kind of figure out what went wrong in that first game. And hopefully that's just more of just Rodgers having a bad day and getting back to the quarterback we've seen from him in the past.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think if week one was any indication to me, if I had a bet, I feel like it'd be tough to bet against the last year's Super Bowl again. I think those two teams definitely looked like the most dominant in the league. But
I'm not a believer in repeats.
To make it a little more interesting, I feel like I know your Steelers beat them, but I feel like the Bills Cardinals is definitely in play.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, I could see any of those.
I think they got a really talented roster. I mean, I know that Steelers absolutely took them to town, took them to Pound Town, putting the work against them.
Yeah, I think the Bills will get back on track. I mean, I think they're still a Super Bowl contender, even if they had a tough week one. But I think really any of this, maybe not the 49ers yet. I'll have to see what Trey Lance looks like, but any of those NFC West teams, I mean, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Rams, I mean, they all have explosive offenses. So come playoff time, I wouldn't be too shocked.
Wow, yeah, that's got to be a stressful division to be in as a fan. That's 6 games you got against very, very high quality.
Yeah, those divisional games are going to be much watch television. That's going to be the difference between really playoff spots, honestly. I mean,
you can't lose at home.
No, for sure.
And but the NFL's doing the 17 playoffs again this year, right? For each division.
Yeah, 17. So the 3 wild card spots up to grab. I mean, shit. there's possibility the entire NFC West can make the playoffs, and I wouldn't be too shocked. I mean, I think all 4 teams are playoff caliber.
First
That would
time
be
ever.
insane. That would be insane. Yeah.
You almost got to root for that. It's like, wow, that'd be cool. That'd be tough. I mean, it's tough though. I mean, I guess also the extra game might be benefiting that division though, just because then they have one more game against the non-division.
Out of division.
Oh, Derek Carr just threw a beauty, but
Got a flag now.
PI on that.
Are they calling PI on the Ravens on this one? Oh shit!
Must have been.
Get the ball at the 1.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, that's a backbreaker if you're a Ravens fan. Yikes!
And then even if the Raiders don't get it, they still got. Yeah, what do you do there if you get it on the 1 and you don't score? Do you rip a timeout and try to go for it again?
Yeah, I'd say you run the ball once. If you don't score, you take your timeout. Probably like 6 seconds left. Then you just call a quick pass, kind of like an outside pass. I'd say, and if it falls short, you just kick the field goal probably.
Or just lob it up to that big body, Darren Waller.
That's not the one.
Oh wait, it may have been a penalty off ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that looks like what the call was.
Well, they're in a better scoring position than they were.
What is that? The 14. All right, we'll see. What's the QP 63 play guess?
Maybe like an outside kind of shoot for that.
Yeah, he took a sack. Yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. All right, that wasted a lot of time too. Yikes.
Oh, is that Jason? Oh, the rookie.
Yeah, that's more sacks than he had in all of college last year.
I know. Yeah, 0 sacks my first round. I mean, real athletic pass rusher. So,
which the Penn State looking nice.
I don't like to see that as a Pitt fan. I was disappointed when they beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, I want some decent money off that, so I won't complain. No complaints here. I actually, beginning of this game, I said screw it and threw a few bucks down on the Raiders.
Not a bad idea. I mean,
I don't think it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities.
only down by. Let's see if they hit this field goal.
I think he's good.
Gonna be down by 4.5.
They showed made last 20 attempts though. I feel like they jinx it every time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go to half.
14-10. Solid game so far. I'd say maybe not as offensively explosive as I would have thought, but 2 teams that this is an important game for them, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Ravens
all right, well, if there's anyone still watching, thank you for hanging around and watching the stream.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Please feel free to subscribe. We'll hopefully be doing this at least once a week during, I don't know, maybe Monday night will be a thing or Thursday night or sometime on Sunday during one of the games. Mm-hmm. But please feel free to tune in and like and subscribe.
Thanks, everyone.